Hi friends, thank you so much for joining me today. Hey, have you ever seen the movie Coco? That is the movie that we're doing in our sermon series today. If you've not had a chance to watch it, I would encourage you to watch it because it has some really great meanings in there. It talks about family, it talks about remembering others, talks about love and understanding. There's so many great things about this movie. Today we're going to focus on Remember Me. When I think about how God wants us to remember the people and the things that we've done in the past or that our relatives have done in the past, I think of the Bible story that's in Joshua. Now we did this story about a year ago, but I love to repeat Bible stories because sometimes I forget the story until I read it and then I remember what God is trying to tell me. So let's read our Bible story today. Today we're reading from the Deep Blue Bible Storybook. Our story is called Crossing the Jordan. You can find it in Joshua 3, 1 through 17, and 4, 1 through 24. Everyone was excited. The people were finally moving into the new land. The priests led the way, carrying the special chest that held God's rules, the 10 Commandments. Everyone followed the priests until they came to the Jordan River. Then everyone stopped. The river was flooded. It was too deep for the people to cross. The people didn't know what to do. Trust God, Joshua said to the people. I know God will do wonderful things for us. Then Joshua told the priests to step into the river. As soon as the priest's feet touched the water, a dry path appeared. All the people crossed through the river on the dry land. Joshua told 12 men to pick up stones as they crossed the river. Joshua used these stones to build a monument. The monument will help us remember how God helped us cross the river, said Joshua. What do you think? Do you think that those people were scared to cross that river? You know, they were there at that river at a time where the river was the deepest. And when rivers are deep, they tend to run really fast and really hard. You can just be swept away in the water. I bet they were nervous. I bet that they were nervous, but they had a bigger feeling of trust, to trust that God was going to help them be safe, to cross that river to get to the new land. At the end of the story, Joshua asked the people to go get 12 stones, 12 big rocks, and they were going to build a monument. Do you know what that means, build a monument? So they were going to stack them up and they were going to use those kind of like an altar, which is kind of another hard, tricky word, right? A place that we go to remember God. In the church, we have an altar and we put our candles there and we put the Bible on there, and it's a place that we go to the worship service and we remember God. Do you remember how long those people were walking? They spent generations, lives walking through the wilderness. So they didn't go set up a big temple or a big church, and they didn't have a worship area like a sanctuary to go into every week and to pray to God. These people loved God so much that they were constantly talking to God. But they would gather in a place. They would gather in a place just like we gather in a church. But they would take those stones and they would make an altar so that they could go to that place to pray, to remember God. Now Joshua knew that if they used those stones from the river, that would be a memory to spark a reminder in those people on how God helped them when they were nervous, when they were scared, and God came through to them. You see, those stones would last longer than their lives, and they would last through their children's lives. So they could tell their children, do you see those rocks? Those rocks came from the river where God stopped the water to help us cross. And those kids would grow up with that story, and they would have kids of their own, and they would tell their kids the story of crossing the river. So God is teaching us to remember our family, to remember how God has helped us in the past. Now, what do you have around your house that helps you remember somebody that you love? So go around your house and find a memory. Find something that helps you remember somebody from your past. I did. I found a picture of my grandparents. This one is Grandma Jo, and this one is Papa Jack. I have the best memories with my Grandma Jo and my Papa Jack. Every summer I would go down to their house with my parents and my little brother, and we would go to their house, and then we would all go to the big lake with my cousins, and we'd camp out on that lake all week long. We'd have a big boat, and we would go on the boat and have fun on the lake and in the water, and I just loved it. And my Papa Jack, he was a preacher, so every Sunday we'd go to his church and we could see him up front telling people about God's great big love. Then I found something else around my house. This right here, it's a purse that somebody very special made. This person is my husband's grandma, and we all called her Nana. And she used to like to needlepoint. And if you can see, each one of these little things is a stitch that she made. She made the front and the back, and she loved to needlepoint. So every time I see this purse, I can remember Nana and how much love she had for us. So take some time with your family and go around your house and find things that help you remember fun memories of people that you love. Another thing that you can do is you can make a family tree. So that's an activity you do to remember your family and who is in it. So you can actually make a tree, and I'm going to kind of do a little one. You can make a tree right here on your paper. And then at the top of it, you can put as far back as you can remember. Now I can remember my great grandma, let's see. We used to call her Mum Dill. And she had curly hair. And she was married to Papa Dill. So I have them at the top of my tree. And that's from my mom's side. Now let's see, I can remember my dad's grandma, Grandma Sadie. But you know what? I don't remember who that she was married to. I must have not have met him. So under Mum Dill, I will have my grandma. And you know what? This is one of those things that I'm gonna have to talk to my parents about, because I can't remember who Sadie was. Was she Grandma Jo's mom or was she Papa Jack's mom? I believe she was Grandma Jo's mom. So I would put Grandma Jo under her, and then I would put Grandma Jo being married to Papa Jack. And then you would keep going down. So under Grandma, they had 5 kids. And the second kid was my mom. So she has all her brothers and sisters. And then under my mom, I would have me and my brother. And then under me, because I was the first one, I would have 3 lines, and I would draw my 3 kids. And that's where it would stop, because my 3 kids don't have any kids yet because they're still kids. And then under my brother, he would get 3 lines because he has 3 kids, and that's how it keeps going. I also found a family tree printout online. I just Googled Coco activities. Let me show you. And this is a family tree. Now this doesn't look like a tree at all, does it? But it helps you, it gives names for the people that you could put. And then once you write those names down, you could talk to your mom or dad or aunt or uncle or grandparents, anybody that can remember the names that are in those slots. So it says your great-grandparent on both sides, your grandparents, and then your parents, and then you. So this one would stop with you. And if you wanted, I could put right here in the middle of this line, a circle for my brother. And then I could go underneath and put my kids on there, and who I'm married to and who my brother's married to. So it's just kind of fun to take the time to learn about your family, to learn about what was important to them. How did God help your family members? What were they going through that God helped them with? All right, my friends, have a wonderful time learning about your family, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.